I will import. Hopefully that just records to mine though, Christy, and not yours. We'll see how that goes. But anyways, we'll continue. So Cookidoo 3.0, got some who are watching this that'll be upgrading who've had a previous TM6 and maybe not had Cookidoo. Some who've never had any experience with it at all, like with a Thermomix at all. So this is going to be a little bit of a taster, but hopefully give you lots of tips and tricks and how to utilize your Thermomix to the most of its ability. Because, you know, obviously this is one of those, here we go. This is one of those things that, you know, it's a tool. And if you don't need it, that's fantastic. If you love doing your own thing, that's incredible. We love that creativity. And please follow us on social media so that we can follow you and see what you're doing if you're one of those. But if not, and you need that little helping hand, there's nothing wrong with that. That's quite common. So we would love to support you. So in a moment, we're going to be sharing screens and going through the website and how to really navigate that and find little tricks and tips with that. We're going to do a little bit of meal planning and just get your input with that. So it's going to be a really fun, engaging little thing if you've still got your brain switched on. You VIX with the 8 p.m. I'm assuming South Australia's 8 p.m. as well there, Abby.
I think they're an hour, maybe two behind.
Okay. Oh, that's right then. That's you still early-ish there then. But yeah, so if you can put your camera on, we'd love to see you. But if you can't, that's totally fine. We'd love to get you involved in the chat box as well so that, yeah, you get the most out of this too, because this is for you guys. So it's 7:40 there. Yeah, cool.
Oh, yeah. So it must be about half an hour behind. Yeah,
for sure. So, yeah, without further ado, we probably will get started. I think Christy would love to start you off. She's actually doing, for those of you that missed it, we played a bit of a song at the start and it was Black Betty. So it's a little bit of a, what's the word? Segue, we'll call it a segue into, we're talking a little bit tonight about our black Thermomix as well, because there was going to be a few jumping on who are using this as a bit of a research tool. So if you weren't aware, we do have a limited edition black Thermomix that is arriving in Australia. We've never got our hands on a limited edition Thermomix before in Australia. Other countries have, but we haven't. And we've got very limited numbers of them too. But we wanted to just showcase a little bit about that as well. And Christy's doing a black themed recipe for you guys, whilst I've got some tips going on in the background that I'll talk about later on. So Chris, would you like to get started on your recipe and let them know?
Yeah, definitely. So we'll start from the start. Hey, better turn it on. Yeah, so I'm doing black bean brownies. So I'm really excited to give these a go. And I'll be able to get that goodness into my son too, because I'll just tell him that they're chocolate brownies. So that's going to be a win-win for me.
Exactly.
So because we're obviously talking about Cookidoo, I was able to go through, I did it on my phone earlier, found the recipe that I wanted, and I added it to my week. So that then talks to my Thermomix, because I am signed in on my phone and my laptop and my Thermomix. They all talk to one another. So the good thing about that is I just now have to click the 3 lines at the top of my screen and go to my week, and the recipe's sitting right here waiting for me, and I just push the screen and we get going. So start cooking. So a couple of these steps, it did call for dried black beans and then soak them over a certain amount of time, and then I had to cook them for half an hour. But I've actually cheated and I just bought canned black beans. So I get to skip a few steps.
Do what's within your means.
Hey.
So do what's within your means. If you can do it
right.
Yeah.
So you know, that's another great thing about Cookidoo is these recipes aren't set in stone. So you just do whatever works for you. And it's going to cut down this recipe time by half an hour. So amazing. Alrighty, so preheat
have any
oven
vegetarians? I know there's at least one on here that eats a little bit of veg. Do you guys, are you vegetarian? Are you meat eaters? Are you plant-based? There's so many ways to define on how we eat at the moment in this current world, but give us a little bit of a shout out in the chat box, what you describe your kind of way of eating.
So first I'm going to pop 100 grams of dark chocolate into the bowl. It does say 70%, but you can just do whatever works for you. I'm doing 85% because that's what I had in the cupboard.
And it makes it dairy-free too when you use a dark chocolate that's a bit
yeah
higher concentrate. So you can make these
although I think
dairy-free.
it depends what dark chocolate you buy, I think, doesn't it?
Pretty
Some
much,
of them sneak a bit of dairy in there.
pretty much 70% above usually are. It's just like you said,
Yeah, okay.
if you see it says 70%, check, but I found typically they just naturally are dairy free. We've got a couple of people chatting. Like to have a couple of meat-free dishes a week. Yeah, and we're the same. I think most people are heading that way. It makes them more cost-effective as well, but obviously the health benefits. Looking to enjoy the vegetarian recipes, Christy said too. Beautiful. Yeah, so I think most of us are looking at ways in how to get some diversity and like get variety into our diets.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but that's grated chocolate in 10 seconds. It blows my mind every time. Like, and I've only had a Thermomix since October, and it still amazes me. So
I love that, Christy. So good. Yeah, so anyway, I was just saying, yeah, I think most of us this day and age know that getting a variety in our diet means we're healthier, we're getting more of our nutritional needs, and all that jazz. So what I want you guys to remember with Cookidoo is there are a lot of recipes developed by like chefs and things that maybe are really delicious, but nutrient-wise not as dense. And any recipe you can adjust. You can add more veggies to things. You can add less meat protein or less oil. That's a big one. Sometimes people say it uses a lot of oil in these recipes. Just reduce it. There's no reason you can't. Usually it's fine. Be mindful it might burn if it is sauteing onion or something like that. Just keep an eye on it, but you can normally smell it too, and you'll then get the feel of recipes on how you can adjust quantities as well. It's just getting used to the newer Thermomix too, and the higher temperature that it goes to, because it goes above 165 degrees, this TM6, in its high temperature mode anyway. Bernice said, I like to try anything, eat a lot of meat. I was looking at this recipe the other day, so keen to make it when my new thermo comes. Beautiful. Yeah, I'm vegetarian, trying to be vegan, by the way. Sorry if I missed any info on that. Multitasking is tricky. Yeah, I know, multitasking. That's cool. Yeah, there is so much stuff that is hidden on Cookidoo for vegetarian and vegan people. So keep that in mind. If you're struggling to find recipes, it's really, keywords are really, really important. Karen said, I want to eat less processed food too. Yeah, well, you're in the right place with the Thermomix for sure, with not eating processed foods. Yeah, sorry, Christy, you can continue on. I was just going to say as well, the black beans can go in so many things. There is a magic bean cake that is to die for. It is amazing. You would have no idea it has black beans in it. So if you want the recipe, make sure you reach out to Christy or myself.
Yeah.
Go
Can you hear me with these in all right?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
perfect.
Cool. All right, so just down to the last 5 seconds.
So I'm while you're doing that then, in the background here, I have a whole chook that's roasting. So often people get their Thermomix and that Varoma, that thing there, sits in the cupboard and doesn't ever get used. So my goal with people is to get them using this thing. And, it's something that generally comes after the first little while with your Thermomix. You delve into a lot of recipes, and it's our job as your consultant to check in and go, hey, how are you going? Are you using your Thermi? Are you using your Varoma? Have you made this in your Thermomix? Blah, blah, blah. So make sure you use us. Don't ever feel like you can't reach out to whoever your consultant is. If you don't have one, we will put our details on how to connect with each of us in an email after tonight that we connect with all of you. We like to just follow up and see if you've got questions and how you're going. So make sure you reach out, utilize us, because you do pay for a consultant support, and it's fine if you don't need it, but if you do, reach out to us. I'm going to make sure you're spotlighted, I think, Christy. So what
I don't know about, it was so hot here today that my coconut oil has decided to melt, so it's made it really hard to do this recipe right now. All right, so the next part is 3 eggs. I can't eat eggs, or a lot of it, so for me this is good. It doesn't mean that I can't have these recipes. I just tweak them. So I'm actually subbing the eggs for 1 banana, a tablespoon of gelatin powder, and some flaxseed. I've just got to get my water. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes if you're, so hopefully you guys can see Christy and she's not breaking up too much. Sometimes if we're spotlighted, it takes a little bit more Wi-Fi power. So I'm just going to jump in on the side as well for you guys. But yeah, if you ever need substitutes, Christy and I are your substitute queens. Christy's got a few food allergy and intolerances, and I do myself as well. We're both dairy and gluten-free for the most part, would you say, Christy? Yeah.
Yeah, look, I'll be honest, I've been pretty naughty and put dairy back into my diet recently, but I am, I am gluten-free, and I try to live as egg-free as possible.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. We all stick back a little bit, but
but not in LinkedIn.
I don't know if Abby's got a question. No, that's right. So yeah, we will be able to help you with substitutions and things like that. I've played around with so many different bread recipes. Gluten-free bread, not the same. To be honest, we don't eat it that much because of that, because it's just not a replacement for it. And to be honest, it's not that nutrient dense anyway in our family for our little kids. So I prefer to just feed them other stuff. But I definitely have done a lot of research on it, so that's okay, Abby. Yeah, any kind of substitutions, even if you're just feeding, you've got someone coming over that has an allergy, then make sure you reach out as well. So yeah, you've just chucked in the eggs, haven't you, Christy? I'm just thinking I'll get up.
Yeah, so I was putting in my egg substitutes, and I just added in some cacao powder. I'm adding in some vanilla. I don't really measure in teaspoons or tablespoons. I just guess those.
So while you're doing these brownies in light of our black Thermomix, I might actually just get you guys to type in the chat box. So what's some of the recipes that you're looking forward to making in your new TM6 first? Tell me what you want to make. Is it snacks? Is it main meals? Is it vegetarian dishes? Give me a sort of a specific, because we're going to head over to Cookidoo in a moment and we're going to just do some searching and just show you how some of our filters and the search bar and everything.
So, and this recipe calls for 80 grams of coconut sugar. I think for me personally, that's too much. So I've just halved that. So all recipes are tweakable to your own needs, really.
Yeah, definitely. I haven't had a recipe that's not worked out for me. I really haven't. I mean, maybe I have and I can't remember, but I don't remember something ever failing. So I've tweaked a lot is what I'm getting at. I usually change a lot of stuff. So did you get that message then, Christy, up on your machine?
Yeah, I did.
Don't know what that's about. Okay.
I don't either.
You might not be logged in properly.
Okay,
Karen said, sorry, we just got a message about a meeting. Our meeting's going to end in a minute, so I don't know what that's about. But if it does, I'm going to just type in, can you guys write this down? This is my Zoom ID, because we're actually in a different one. We're in Christy's meeting tonight, because as I mentioned at the start, we've had a bit going on here in Queensland. So if we do get kicked off, we'd love you to jump back on that Zoom code, and we'll just continue on from there. I don't know why it would be doing that with your paid account, Chris, but anyway. So Christy said main meals and soups to me. I'm keen to use a Varoma more. Awesome. Yeah, Varoma is, yeah.
Sorry, I'm just going to try and sort this out. Sorry.
Got a little, what are you? Streaker. Couldn't think of the word, streaker in the background. Bernice said, I've had a thermo for 2 years, never really used it. Then I got this call from Christy, and wow, she's been so great. She is fantastic, isn't she? I love it. I'm so stoked to have you. I'm looking forward to getting my thermo 6 this week. Yeah, awesome. Look, I'm so excited for you guys. Like the ladies that are on are all, you guys are just at the beginning of your journey with the Team 6. So I'm so excited to see what you achieve with it, what you make. And please, we love receiving photos. So send us what you're making. Send us the beautiful, family shots of when you're cooking with your spouse or your son or daughter or whatever, because we really love to see those. It really makes our day. That's why, like, that's the main reason we're in this kind of gig, because it's not an easy gig to stay in long term, is it, Christy? It can get taxing, the late nights and things like this that we have to do, but this is what makes it all worth it, seeing everyone's, you know, beautiful moments and beautiful meals that you've created. So I've just sent my Instagram over there, handle over there as well. So I would love to connect with you guys as well. I know you follow Christy already, some of you. So Christy, if you want to put yours in there as well, then people can jump, if they don't follow you already, that watch the recording back, they can jump across and follow you. But yeah, be lovely to see you guys. Have you just blended all that up, Chris, now? Do you want me to?
Yeah, so it was blending for 4 minutes. We've got about another minute to go.
Awesome.
Sorry.
That's right.
I'm having trouble hearing with the thermo going in the background.
That's fine. I was just going to say, do you want to quickly bring up some of those assets, the black thermi, and we'll go through that quickly, and then we can do our Cookidoo stuff. And I'm going to show you guys.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll do this while you're finding that. So Varoma, number one tips, and you guys are all going to have a little bit of a delivery session as well with a consultant, and you know, be taken through some of the safety again. You might already know it being previous owners, but there's a lot of new things with the 6 as well. And just going through placement of your accessories and little things that aren't in the manual that are really handy to know. Most people know that when you open the Varoma lid, you've got to open it away from you, because that steam is, I don't think you can see it behind me, but can be pretty dangerous. So always tell that to your little ones as well. Beautiful. So this is my chook. So this is actually a skinny mixers recipe. So if you don't know about skinny mixers and that word, you're like, what is she talking about? Reach out. We'll share some assets and stuff with you. But basically, in a nutshell, she's a lady who's developed a lot of recipes for a lot of different diets and food intolerances and things, and they're delicious. They're still lots of flavor without the guilt, essentially. So this is the roast chicken from her. I tweaked it again because I used what I had. I didn't go out and buy expensive herbs, or I didn't buy a leek. I needed a leek for this, for the stuffing, and I didn't bother with the stuffing. So I'll kind of show you without dripping it, but basically it made a beautiful little spice rub that you put over your chook. This is just a chicken from Woolies. It goes in here. Sometimes if I'm feeling up to it, I would chuck that in the air fryer to finish it, just to crisp up the skin, or the oven if you've got an oven. But we were talking about air fryers earlier before some of you joined. But it is just so moist and delicious. There's another really fantastic recipe, which is a bit of a treat for us in our family, and it's called Hainese chicken. And it's like a Japanese, I think it's Japanese or Chinese recipe with rice. And it's just like comfort food. It's so beautiful. So if you are after that recipe, then let me know. But this is, you can pull it apart, use leftovers for sandwiches, make a sandwich filling with some mayo and stuff in your thermi. Do whatever you want with a roast chook. It's pretty handy to have in the fridge. So awesome little meal prep. And underneath here, I've actually got some sweet potato and stuff as well, which I won't bother showing you. You guys know what cooked veggies look like, but my steaming basket's just in there. So that's, for me, one recipe that is just so handy to use up. Other like leftover veggies and stuff to do a cook and get you through to the end of the week when you just can't be bothered cooking. Like roast is kind of the go-to, definitely, I think. Did you have any of those assets? Or do you want me to share my screen now, Chris?
Yeah, I just don't have did you want me to pull up the black BLE?
Yeah, we'll just give them a little bit of a show. So this is purely, you guys have all purchased your 6. You're going to absolutely love it. White or black doesn't make a really difference. This one's going to be a bit pricier than what our white one is, but they're exactly the same. So it's just for some people who have that. I've already been reached out to a few times that are very OCD with like all their kitchen appliances are black, and it's going to be really enticing for those people. And if you've got anyone in your life that would really go for the black one, then make sure that you share it if you didn't know about it, because it's gonna sell out quick. It's going to be on sale very soon. That's all I can say. We can't share exactly when it's going to go live, but it's going to sell out so quick. We have so limited stock of it. So showing you guys just so you get to have a little bit of a look. My kitchen is all black. I almost cried when I heard black was coming out. Oh, Denise. Honestly, you can buy stickers and stuff for them too, if it really is a deal breaker for you.
So that's it.
But you've got,
I don't know.
what is it? Sorry.
Oh, that's it. So that's it. Brownie mixture ready in the liner. That's in the. I can't even get my words out now. In the tin, ready to go in the oven.
Awesome. You'll have to, so we're going to get some photos of these finished products as well. We'll send them to you guys in an email if you want to see what it looks like. We'll probably post them on our social media too though, so definitely follow along. All right, I'm going to bring up my Cookidoo screen if it lets me. It's not letting me because it's yours, Christy. So you're going to have to share it. This is
good.
We'll have to tweak things a little bit. So Christy, this is the first one that she's set up for us, and some of the settings have done some crazy things to her, so we're going to work with it. We'll just keep pivoting.
Host disabled, participant screen sharing.
I should
is it gonna
I should be
you are the host. I made you host.
All right, don't know why it's not letting me share, but that's okay. I'm going to make you host again. There you go. And we'll bring it up and share the screen. So the last part of these are all quite quick things. So if you want to have pen and paper as well, by all means, grab a pen and paper, but we will do a really quick summary, probably in an email that will come out to you tomorrow. But they're just important little things that if you don't have those settings right, you're going to be missing out on a lot of goodness. So we will endeavour to show you guys that. And Christy, you'll have to get through.
Can you, I'm just going to move you around here because I don't need to see my thermo anymore. Can you see that okay?
Yeah, I can see it. So I'm assuming everyone else can. Go for it.
Yeah,
so,
I can see it.
This is it. This is the infamous Cookidoo.
Have you all downloaded this real quickly? Have you all downloaded it and got the app on your phone and your spouses and family members' phones? Make sure that that's your step number one. You've all got to be synced up, yeah? Beautiful, thanks.
So, where should we start? There's a little bit, there's lots to cover in Cookidoo. I'm just going to start here. So, yeah, I guess when you sign up to your Cookidoo, you will see up the top here is my name, and I can just go to view profile. My internet's decided to be a little bit slow, so I'm very sorry about that. And here you can pick, I guess, what cooking style suits you. And I often change mine. At the moment, I'm opting for the time-saving cook. But yeah, so here you click whichever one suits you. And that then pulls up. So we're here. Yeah. So here where it says latest recipes, that can sort of give you recommendations based on the style cooking that you've selected. So we've got latest recipes. Here we've got created recipes, which is a part of the 3.0. We've got most cooked. This always changes.
Let's pause there for a second. So the latest recipes, I'm just sorry to be specific, pedantic. Latest recipes are from our latest cookbook. So they are going to be giving you the newest ones to land on Cookidoo, which is great because you're always kind of seeing something new, and it's like always, I don't know if you're the kind of person who likes to buy new cookbooks a lot, but I always was, and I like to try new things all the time. So that's for you. If that's you, that's the person you are. You're going to get recommendations that are just for you. There's a little tab there. We've got featured underlined at the moment, but we've got for you there as well. So these are handpicked things based on what you've already made and what you've selected as your preferences on your profile. So they are where you want to go to if you want some inspiration with your meal planning as well. Desserts, yeah, everything. On that main featured screen though, yeah, you're going to see, so there's a little section there, created recipes. So I want to touch on that really quickly because the 3.0, Cookidoo 3.0, it's different because you can upload recipes from the recipe community directly to the screen of your Thermomix. So it's a game changer. If you're coming from being a 31 and having used a recipe community a lot, which I'm sure you did, you're going to have all of those favorite recipes on the recipe community. So make sure that you've collected them and created a bit of a list ready for when your Team 6 arrives, so you can add them here and just have them easy to access. Like sometimes we have recipe, I don't know what you guys are like, but my old recipe books when I had back in the day, when I had like paper, handwritten things and things everywhere, you just could never find what you wanted, or you just forgot about really great things and didn't make it again for a long time. So great way to have everything in the one place. And then you can keep scrolling if you like, Christy, and talk about the most cooked and everything.
That's okay. So yeah, so the most cooked, it changes quite a lot. Just I guess according to what all the Cookidoo users across Australia are cooking.
Yeah, exactly.
It's self-explanatory pretty much. And here, here, this is a really great one. Obviously, we have the new blade cover peeler. So this is really good. It goes into some recipes because, peeling beetroots, and you'll have some sous vide recipes in there, some slow cook recipes.
Really getting your chef hat on. When you want to use the blade cover, you can do some pretty fancy stuff. There is a sous vide rare steak in there. I know we've been talking about being vegetarian and I'm mentioning all these meat recipes. I'm so sorry. But there is a sous vide rare steak in there that is delicious. So you definitely want to try that, especially if you've already got a vacuum seal kind of kit at home. But I've seen people do them in just like Ziploc bags and whatnot. So it depends on what you feel comfortable doing. I probably wouldn't do that, but if you feel comfortable doing that, do it. It's worth every bit. It's delicious.
So these discover more recipes. We've got some people who said they like vegetarian. So this here is really good. So eat green. So if I was to click on that, it's going to take obviously me to more plant-based stuff. So your meat-free Mondays, making your own oatmeal, all sorts of things. And then we've got down here some vegan stuff. There are so many recipes on here for vegetarians and vegans. They're awesome. Like I'm neither, but I do like to cook a lot of plant-based stuff, and the opportunities are endless of what you can cook.
Yeah, for sure.
So if we go down a bit further,
the front page goes down so far, doesn't it? You kind of forget.
Yeah. So here you've got you're focusing on modes. So these are the TM6 exclusive modes, I believe. Is that right, Laura?
Yeah. So like your thicken mode and your
high heat
stuff like that. Yeah, all of those.
And then when we go down here, we have the collection. So if I click on this,
click see more.
Here we go.
So yeah, this is where the gold is. When you get to this page, I think this is this is my favorite spot to be.
So one thing that I like to do is remove all filters. Great if you can speak another language. I can't, but that's where your filters are awesome, and they come into they become your best friend almost. So you can select obviously here you've got your categories, and it goes through. You've got quite a few categories there. We have TM, your Thermomix version. We don't have Thermomix in Australia, so that's kind of irrelevant. But it's the country and region that I take advantage of. And I generally always click Australia. Well, I do click Australia, but I also go to Canada, US, and the UK.
Yeah, that's where it's at. That's the gold takeaway of the night. Make sure you've got all the English speaking countries selected, because you are going to widen your search results so much.
And so that then gives me 610 collections to choose from. So that's not recipes, that's collections.
That's like cookbooks. Yeah. So there's a lot there, but no, most people don't have the time to just go through and just look at them all. And there is some double ups because some countries have released the same cookbooks as what we have and whatnot. But that's kind of your first port of call, is definitely make sure that that's saved. So when you do this in your like profile, like when you first set this up, when you log in, it will save whatever filters that you've used there. So as a base, as a default, make sure that you've got all those countries set so that you don't have to go back and do it all the time. So you can update your filter there. Yeah. So I always have all of them. I don't bother clicking just TM6 or anything like that, because obviously as a TM6 owner, you can cook anything. It's the 5s that can't cook the 6 recipes. So you guys get access to everything. Having English selected as well is handy, because in Canada they do also speak French, I believe. So you do want to maybe have English selected, so you just weed out the French ones. But by all means, if you speak another language, it's pretty awesome. We've got people in our communities that learn a language at school that haven't done it in like 15, 20 years and have like gone back to these like recipes on Thermomix and are reteaching themselves a language because they're following along recipes that, yeah, you get my drift. But pretty incredible. I really need to learn a new language, I think, at some point in my life. That's on my bucket list. So when you go back to that search screen, Christy, where we were,
Yep.
So even just go see more of the latest recipes or something, and get into, I think that takes us through. Strange when you're on this end and you're not doing it yourself. Yeah. So yeah, you saw how Christy selected the filters there with like the little lines and dots, and how you can go through and select your categories. So by all means, if you're meal planning, this is where you need to come. And if you have no clue what you want to make at all, just start with those filters and scroll a little bit. Most people have a little bit of an inkling of, okay, I want this protein this night, and this, I've got this in the fridge that needs to be used up. So what I love about Cookidoo is, if I've got something, say zucchinis, you've got heaps of zucchinis growing in the garden, and you just get sick of making zucchini slice all the time with them, or just doing the same thing with it all the time. So quite often I'll just type in an ingredient and bring up new recipes and try new things with whatever ingredients I've got to use up. So you can by all means just type an ingredient. Don't be afraid to just type things in and go searching for something new. You don't have to know exactly what you're feeling like. So where Christy was back at the top of the search bar, sorry, Chris, before we just move on, if you go to see where it says recipes there, you can actually select that to change to collections or recipes. Yeah. So just good to be mindful. Like sometimes people have, the wrong one selected, or they want to find a cookbook, and, seems basic, but just make sure that it is the right thing that you're wanting to be looking for. And then, as Christy showed you, you can actually, while you've got that up, you can press the little cross on any of those filters. So you can get rid of the main dishes and then go searching for snacks, or, whatever you want to do. So they're probably the top things. Now, what we want to really show you guys, though, is just actually how to save your recipes and get really organized with Cookidoo as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to type in, I saw Christy wanted to see some soups and some vegetarian dishes. So let's just start with soups, because you've got that there with the filters open. I would just even go back to the filter. I'd go back to the filter and just click soup. And just make sure that you've got all of the other countries selected too, maybe just so we can see a few different things there. Now, you just might have quickly seen there with Christy, and you can have a play with this yourselves, but be mindful there is actually a way to reduce your search engine as well, to select recipes that are cooked in the time frame that you want to be in the kitchen. If you're happy to be in the kitchen for an hour, that's awesome. If you've got that time up your sleeves, you might have, your weekends aside for doing some really fun, inspiring cooking. But, if it's midweek, you need a meal on the table, make sure that you're utilizing these search engines to really come up with some of the recipes for your meal plans. And then you can broaden your horizons from there as well. So that brings us down to 99 results. Like 99 is still a lot to search through and to decide. So you might, have a specific like ingredient that you want to use in it. But again, soups are so versatile, and so often I just chuck in whatever extra veggies I want to use anyway. I'm not one for normally making a whole heap of different types of soups, but that's me. Like I just like to use them as use everything up. Cannot recommend the Hug in a Mug more though. So what I'd love to do is, sorry, Christy, you're showing them things while I'm saying something different. This is the hard part of not being in control, isn't it? Sorry. Yeah, no, that's okay. We've got someone's drawing. Here we go. Can you get out of that? Go to the Hug in the Mug. So as you can see, guys, that's got 4.4 stars. That's actually a really high rating. And so what you want to do is to start with, try the things with the high ratings. Keep an eye out on the stars. That rating system is for customers. So that's, if you try something and you love it, give it 5 stars. Give it 5 stars and make sure that you do that, because it's going to show more things up for you. It's going to benefit you, but it's also going to benefit everybody else who's using Cookidoo as well. So if you can remember, rate these things, yeah? So we get more 5-star things, and they, you know, less of the 2 or 1. I really haven't even seen any 2 or 1-star things, to be honest, anyway, but I'm sure they're on there. But with the Hug and a Mug soup, so we saw that little square up, right? And there's 3 little dots there. So you can, as a really quick save, I call it like the quick save, you can use those 3 dots to just add it to your week and your shopping list and everything there. But you can also go into
I'll
it.
go back and do it.
No,
Yeah.
no, stay there. But that's all right. I was going to say, but you can also go into it like that and actually check, what are these ingredients? Do I want to make this? How many steps has it got? Can I be bothered? You know, all of that sort of stuff if you've got the time. And you can add it to your week there. Now, what you'll see right at the bottom, you'll see some tips. You'll see some ideas on how to make things, I don't know, vary them. There'll be always something different. Like this one, it shows you how to make it gluten-free. There's always something different, but it's handy to check those out. And often they have your like best before dates and things like that, if it's something that can potentially be, you know, like a condiment or something that you might want to know that about. And obviously all of our nutritional information too. So if you're following a certain meal plan or diet, you can really keep track of your macros and everything there too, which is awesome. But yeah, if you go back up to the top there, like I said, with the add button, do you want to show them, Christy, how to add it to a collection? Okay, so this is the terminology you get used to. Collection in Thermomix land is essentially like a cookbook or a list. Okay, now in this instance, you want to create your own collections or lists that represent how you guys eat and are going to make it easier for you to find things in the future. So I highly recommend, and having a soups one is really handy. I highly recommend that also if you are, or you have people in your family that are meat eaters, do it, you know, beef, chicken, fish. You might have just breakfast ideas or snack ideas, but try not to be too broad. Be really specific. You're better off having more lists and fewer recipes saved in those lists so that you can access those things really quickly. You can save up to 1,800 recipes onto your Thermomix. So these collections that you're saving, save to your Thermi and are there offline. So you don't need to be connected. You can take your Thermomix camping and you can make it without being connected to the Wi-Fi. You obviously have to have a power outlet to make it run. But so it's a great way, you know, you might make a list. You might be going away for a weekend to a holiday house somewhere and you might make a list, you know, holiday house weekend and add the recipes you're going to be making over the weekend. Get there and, you know, cook away to your heart's content. So collections is where it's at, and not bookmarking things, because bookmarking just puts it all in one big sheet and nothing's in alphabetical order, and it's a pain, an absolute pain. So bookmarks are things that you might use all the time, or maybe, you know, just your staple stuff. Or, you know, I'll let you guys come up. I'm sure that people have more ideas than what I do. But for me, I bookmark things that I want to try, that are on my wish list. So I can go there when I've got extra time and I can go, okay, I'm going to get some inspiration. What am I going to make? That's my just little tips. So yeah, if you want to add that one to our week and our shopping list, Christy. Sorry, I tend to ramble and talk a lot. Like I said, it's quite fast with this. So if you want to take some notes, please do. But hopefully all of that's made a lot of sense to you. Ask any questions that you want. Very cool features that makes it much more user-friendly. Yeah. Beautiful. Thanks, Chris. I think your messages are coming directly to me, Christy, rather than like the whole group, which is totally fine. I'm just reading them out so that people know what I'm reading. Yeah, so that's been added to our shopping list. So if you want to go back and we'll find like another vegetarian dish or vegan dish even for Abby, anything, yeah, that's the black bean brownies that you made today. Delicious. So yeah, you can type in, this is the tricky part. Sometimes you write vegan and you don't get all the vegan recipes, which is annoying. I don't really know why. I think it's a problem with tags that they've added to recipes, because sometimes a recipe doesn't have the word vegan in it. And if it doesn't have the word vegan in the recipe title, it might not be included here. So just be mindful of that. It can be hard typing in something still. We're hoping we'll work on that and get better at that. Thermomix are definitely getting better in this arena because there's so many people who eat this way nowadays as well. So we need to cater to those. That spaghetti and meatballs looked delicious. Is anything taken anyone's fancy? Type in the chat box if you saw something. I would love the vegan macaroni and cheese too. That sounds kind of good. This is one, I think, the 5 hours, that's one of our slow cooked recipes that you would need a blade cover for. So I know we mentioned the blade cover and wave pillar really briefly. If you don't know what it is, definitely reach out, have a little bit of a cooking experience and go over it, see a recipe made with it is my recommendation. But essentially it is an accessory that goes in your Thermomix and can peel beetroots, potatoes, whatever, like for hands-free. You chuck your potatoes in, you put it on and you come back in a few minutes and they're essentially, it's rubbing the skin off. That's Christy's got it in a hot little hand. It's rubbing the skin off. And so you're not losing a lot of the produce. You're not wasting, which is really heavily what Thermomix is about, minimizing waste and landfill and stuff, our planet could do with a little less waste, filling it up. But anyway, so vegan macaroni and cheese, let's add that as well. If anyone else has something else they saw, please yell out. You guys can go through and do your own little searches though. And then maybe like a fun dessert or something. Let's just chuck that into. We've got a couple of recipes on the shopping list. You might already have stuff in there though, Christy. Are we messing yours up?
I'll just take it back out. It's all good.
I don't know, like what was one of the, we've done the brownies, haven't you? What was something I was going to make the other day? Oh, I just made, this was delicious. Actually, I highly recommend this. It was like what was it called? Peanut butter choc chip slice. I'm pretty certain it was called. I want you to look that up because you guys should all make this. Everyone is loving it at our household. You could make it with, it does have butter in it, but you could just make it with Nuttelex or coconut oil. I used the dairy-free, is it Noshi or Nushi, like choc chips? That's like the sugar-free brand that's in the supermarkets now.
No sugar or something?
I can't even remember what it's called, but yeah, I used them. But it was delicious. So this is a really good one to try. It's been great for the lunch boxes. So if you go to the shopping list now, just so we've given them a few recipe ideas to see how it'll look.
Hang on. I might have only added them to my week.
That's right. Doesn't matter. Whatever we've got in there, we've got in them. You got a few things in there anyway. Do whatever's on your shopping list. It's purely just to show them how this feature works. So you get your own little shopping list. It's a habit to get into. Like if you add something to your week, highly recommend adding also like to your shopping list, remembering to do that, because that's something that took me a while to get used to when I first got Cookidoo, I remember.
Okay.
We just had taco night as well the other night. Oh, 2 nights ago, but can't go past a taco night. The beef tacos are a really quick meal, guys, as well. Or the barbecue jackfruit tacos. They're delicious and vegetarian. I made them as well as the beef version for this household. But so you can see, comes up in a list. Now, I personally prefer to do by recipe, just so I can gauge what I need to buy now, maybe what I just keep on my list for a couple of days time and buy when it's fresher. Depends if you're shopping in person or if you use our incredible online shopping tool here. So Cookidoo links up with Woolworths. We've been partnered with them because we've got like similar systems. It can integrate really easily, and we can basically add your ingredients list to your shopping cart at Woolies all for you. So all you have to do is come across here, meal plan, send your ingredients across and do your online order for a click and collect or a delivery with Woolies. Just making sure that you double check some of the quantities, because technology is not perfect, and sometimes you'll notice, like if say it needs 500 grams of chicken breasts, say it was like 500 grams of ham, sometimes I find that jumps to like a kilo or something like that instead. So just little things to be mindful of, because you want to buy extra stuff that will get wasted. Sometimes it says 1 carrot and it gets you one bag of carrots instead of just 1 carrot. So just little things like that. But obviously the little check boxes you see, you're just ticking off what you've already got in your pantry, saving, yourself the money. Have a think about, herbs and things like that. Quite often you can use what you've got in your garden or you've already got in the fridge, and you don't have to always buy all these things. Remember, these recipes are a guide. So if you've got a bit of an idea about cooking already, put your own little flair to things and be savvy if you're trying to save money and all that sort of stuff. And that's one of the biggest tips I give, even with our vegetable stock paste. It is beautiful, it is delicious, but if you don't have all of those herbs and you don't want to fork out the money for those bunches of herbs, like you need sage and thyme and parsley and basil and all the things for the veggie stock, then just buy 1 bunch of parsley. Make it with the parsley, make it with whatever you've got growing in your garden. And then when you're making an Italian dish, add in your basil and things then. Or when you're making a curry, add in your coriander or whatever else. So it's just a way of making it a bit more versatile as well. But yeah, you get the gist here. So you can check things off. I find having it by category instead of by recipes is better if you're walking through the supermarket, because it's kind of more by aisle and by section. But yeah, adding your additional info, like things you need. Like I keep forgetting to buy toothpaste, so I need to add that to my list. I'm going to do that right now, actually, while we're talking on my app. But yeah, you add in what you need, and then you basically can, send it across. If it doesn't match it, if it's not quite sure what you've added, it'll just say unknown item, and you just have to go searching for that once you get across to Woolies as well. But quite often it just finds that it'll have to be something kind of random if it didn't recognize what it was. And then you hit order ingredients. Yeah. Pretty simple. Once you get across, you guys will all figure it out if you're wanting to use this. And I've never really had any issues. Generally, people who picking the produce for you pick the best quality stuff. And you can leave notes on Woolworths as well if you like your bananas a little on the green side, or you like them spotty already, or whatever you're looking for. You can leave notes for the staff to do that when they're picking your groceries. So for me, it's good because I'm a time waster at the supermarket. I look at all the little bargains and I go down the aisles I shouldn't be going down. So that is it. That's pretty much the gist.
I just wanted to quickly jump on here because it doesn't always pick, obviously, the you might see here, it's got this White Wings plain flour. Yeah. You might be happy with just the no-name brand. So if you hit the swap button, then you go down here and you go, I just want the essentials one. So you just hit select.
Yeah.
So it does, it doesn't always pick the one that you want, but that's easily changeable. You just go to this swap button, select what you want.
You'll find it's quite change smart though. Do you find that, Christy? It's quite smart in that it remembers what things you commonly pick. So yours is showing up macro brands, and I'm pretty sure that's probably because you buy the macro brands, and I'm the same.
I buy macro. Well, I'm a bit of a Coles shopper more than Woolies, just because our family gets discount. However, there are, if I was in an area that only had Woolworths, 1000%, I would utilize this every day, because I am that person who goes into the supermarket and I veer off my list, and the half price bargains or the buy two for this price get me every time. So my shopping list, my shopping always costs me more. So this is really great if you are like me. It stops you from going into the shops, because you can actually get this then direct to boot. So you don't even have to walk into Woolies to pick this up.
Yeah, that's it. The direct to boot thing, God, it saves me. Mums with little kids now, I just think this is a game changer, that kids can stay asleep in the car, you don't have to wake them up and take them in, and it's pretty cool. So tell your friends, tell your mum friends anyway. Even not having to take toddlers and things down the aisles, just game changer. I know my mum would have appreciated it with her tribe. But so that's most of the ins and outs of Cookidoo to really get you started anyway, I would say. Christy, what do you think? Have we forgotten anything?
Do we want to touch on the adding the recipes from Recipe Community?
I reckon leave it to another day. I reckon
Okay.
once you're ready for that, I think most of you guys will figure it out on your own, but we do. So this is our like advanced Cookidoo session. We also do recipe converting sessions and meal planning sessions and things. So if we're doing a recipe converting session with you, we'll take you through how to do that as well. But, you know, if you're a little bit tech savvy, I think you guys will definitely work it out anyway. And it'll take us way over. We've already kind of gone over time because we always talk for too long, don't we, when we get together, Christy? I do.
Yeah.
So you've seen my little chicken varoma dish. Oh, by the way, you can type varoma in the search bar as well if you're looking for a varoma recipe. If you just want to use your varoma, that's another good little tip. You can type in a specific accessory, and yeah, it'll bring up recipes for that too. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Do you get a cookie description of the merch? Yeah, so you get 6 months free, Karen, when you purchase. So when your Thermomix comes, hopefully you've got something booked in with Christy already, but when it comes, you guys will link up, but she will show you how to just enter basically your Cookidoo login to your machine, and that linking it with your machine will automatically give you 6 months to your account. So our subscription is $69 for a year. It's just gone up because of the extra software and capabilities it has to have a kind of cover now, but it is so valuable. Honestly, it works out to be just over $1 a week, really, and it's so worth it in my mind for people, just giving that ease of thinking of what's for dinner and making it less stressful come dinner time. I
think too, especially if you do have young kids, like just makes it, it takes that indecisiveness out of it, and you sort of know what you're cooking. And some of these recipes are great. You can cook like 3 hours in advance, or it's been a game changer for me having Chet, who's nearly 4, but just adds to that, sort of takes the pressure off. Nighttime routine can be a big thing, so knowing what I'm going in for has been amazing. I mean, none of that getting to knowing what I'm cooking for the week,
none of that getting to 4 or 5 p.m. and having to like just pull something out of thin air.
Or standing at the freezer thinking, oh, what am I going to make tonight? Or
I forgot to pull meat out, damn it. That reduces that. And that's why I mentioned at the start, making sure your whole family's got the app. If they've got a phone, they've got a smartphone, make sure they've got that app and they are involved and a part of those decision making about what they want to eat, especially kids, because it just makes them so much, what's the word? They want to eat it more, they want to try new things more. They feel like they've got
they're more engaged in what they're eating.
Yeah, for sure. So get them involved and get everyone else involved. So it's not always just on you having to think of what to make every night of the week, and use the filters for the portions as well. If you're just cooking for 2, reduce it maybe, or make those bigger quantities, and then you've got leftovers as well, where you can stock up the freezer or eat the same thing if you don't mind eating the same thing a couple of nights in a row. I don't care. I'm all about being savvy, but I know Dale, my partner, does care. He doesn't like to eat the same thing more than like twice in a row. So like for dinner, then lunch the next day, and then that's it. He's got to have something new. So we've always got food in our house. But hopefully you've learned lots from tonight. I think, was there any other little assets we had to go over? I think all of you guys that are on tonight know about our trading offer that actually just like right at the deadline got extended to the 8th of March. So it is actually still open. Mostly because a lot of our consultants have been affected some way or another with the floods and the rain, and didn't get to contact customers and actually tell them about the offer. So so if you do know of anyone who's got an older model Thermomix and you want to pass it on, it is still open. I know a few of you ladies that are on have jumped on board with it, which is exciting, and I'm so excited for you guys. And that's the trade-in. I think that was all. Christy, our wave peeler. So the wave peeler.
I was going to say the wave peeler host reward has been extended to the end of March now. So,
which we didn't actually even talk about that. So the wave peeler, which if you're in contact with one of us, you'll probably know, it is currently a limited time only host reward. So when we say host, when you facilitate introducing, just 2, you only need 2 more people, but 2 or 3 more people along to a Thermomix session, they can already be Thermomix users as well, as you know, it doesn't matter. But if you facilitate that, then you basically get a reward from Thermomix to say thank you for sharing the love. And we've got a bunch of cool stuff on there, including like obviously our thermo servers. And if you don't already have one of those, I would be very sad for you guys. But that's a tool that if you're going to cook 3 hours ahead of time, you're going to want a thermo server to keep things hot. It's safely for 3 hours. It keeps food hot, ready to serve. So yeah, grab yourself one of those, or limited time only, the blade covers on there as a host reward. So just having hosted something like this, and it can be literally 20 to 30 minutes, not quite, we've gone a little bit over, but 20 to 30 minute session with a consultant virtually like this, you can sit here in your pajamas and you can get it half price. So it's an easy discount to get if you want to just learn some new things with us. But yeah, that's all from me. You can add anything you like, Christy. Sorry, I'll shut up.
No, that's all good. Yeah, I think we've pretty much covered it. But yeah, like the host reward, they don't have to be the cooking experiences where we cook food. It can be, you know, we go over Cookidoo again in more depth, because we've really only sort of covered a few little bits and pieces. Like we haven't gone anywhere near tags or anything like that, you know. So and then obviously again, you know, if we go into recipe conversion, all of those things are ways that you can get yourself a host reward. Like they don't have to necessarily be doing the cooking side of things.
Yeah, or the big 2 hour.
Like Laura said, if we have these workshops on, if you invite 2 of your friends along and they jump on to work to a workshop like this, that's another way you get a host reward.
Yeah. There was something I was going to say about that then too. Don't know. Doesn't matter. Mustn't have been important this time of night in my brain. But yeah, so yeah, if you'd like to have a look at the host rewards, reach out. We can send them through. But yeah, if you've got any questions, and if you haven't already set up your delivery, like it's really just what we call our first cook. We like to do your first cook together, so that if there's any little gaps in knowledge, like, you know, we don't know what you don't know, and you don't know what you don't know, you know. So if there's any little missing information there, that we're on top of that, and we're making sure that you guys hit the ground running with your new Thermomixes and don't have like hit any little snags. So it's just so important in your journey to make sure you just have that contact in those first few weeks. We think, we're biased obviously, but we think it's important. And yeah, so if you haven't organised that already in that time, then reach out to one of us or reach out to your consultant, whoever's watching this replay back. And we will see you guys hopefully over on our socials. That's okay. Thank you, Christy, for joining. Denise said, thanks so much, guys. I'm not great with technology. It was good to have you run through the app. Awesome. I'm so glad it was beneficial, guys. I'll